Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Step by Step. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a new concept. It's Ninetales-GX with Golduck Break, and it's a pretty cool concept. I think you guys are going to like it, and we're playing against a Tapu Koko speed variant, so I hope you guys enjoy the video. So the strategy kind of came about thinking about the format, how things are slowing down, how Pokemon with 180 HP are the main attackers in a lot of different decks. And I really thought that Alolan Ninetales-GX would combo really well with Golduck Break. It's a little slower to set up. Usually you get the Golduck Break on turn 3, but that's okay because you're usually getting an Alolan Ninetales around turn 2 or turn 3, depending on how your Float Stones and Aqua Patches play out. So it's usually pretty decent timing, and it saves you from having to run something like Manaphy or having to run a ton of switches or escape ropes or something like that, or just manually retreating and then aqua patching first to another Alolan Ninetales and then manually retreating. So the Golduck allows you to just move basic energies around however you'd like. So you just Aqua Patch your water energies back to your bench after using Ninetales' 160 damage attack, discarding 2 energies, and then you just Aqua Patch and move the energies right back to your active Ninetales. So seems pretty cool to me. So one thing that I like about what my opponent's doing is he's using Fighting Fury Belt. I know that Tapu Koko basically always plays Fighting Fury Belt anyway, but I think it needs to be in a lot more things than it is right now. I don't see it being played a whole lot in Turbo Darkrai. I don't see it being played a whole lot in Volcanion. I don't see it being played a whole lot in Tapu Bulu Vikavolt. I definitely think you need a choice band in Tapu Bulu Vikavolt, but maybe like doing like 2 Fury Belts and 2 choice band or 1 choice band, something like that. I mean, you're hitting for 180 damage anyway with Tapu Bulu when you discard the energies. So for me, being able to survive a little longer with 220 HP seems more relevant in the meta than just having a choice band and hitting for 210. Now, granted, like I said, I want to play a choice band because I want to hit for 210 for sure. But I don't want to not play a Fighting Fury Belt in the deck. I think both are warranted in that deck. So, of course, we're just setting up now. Getting Remoraid, Vulpix, and Psyduck in play on turn 1 is insane with this deck. We can go ahead and play down 2 Vulpix, retreat, and go ahead and start using Beacon. Now, this deck I run Bridget because I'm wanting to get the Remoraid, Psyduck, Vulpix out as soon as possible. And sometimes I like Fan Club. There's some decks that I like Fan Club in. If I run Shaman, if I feel like Shaman is essential and it's not like, I don't know, something that needs a bunch of bench Pokemon like Raichu, then I kind of like Fan Club. But otherwise I like Bridget. Now I run the Double Jet Golduck, which I feel like that attack should have been called Double Duck. That just sounds way cooler. But I run the Double Jet Golduck because it's actually really good. With 2 water energies in your hand and 1 water energy attached to Golduck, it one-shots Garbodor, it one-shots Zoroark, Vespiquen, Raichu. It one-shots Tapu Koko promo. It one-shots a lot of stuff, and then you can just Aqua Patch the energies you used right back into play, evolve to Golduck Break, and move into a Ninetales. So the Golduck is actually really not bad synergy with Alolan Ninetales. Obviously, the Golduck Break is the best synergy, but I mean, yeah, having a 1-prize attacker. I played another game earlier tonight that I didn't get recorded against a Mega Rayquaza, and that's the only reason I won. I won 6 prizes to 5 prizes because one of his knockouts was against Golduck, and Golduck just put enough pressure on a Mega Rayquaza that I could knock it out the turn afterwards with Alolan Ninetales. So, very interesting combination here. Now I run a Wally in here as well. I kind of like that in case I want a turn 2 Golduck break. If I can evolve on turn 2 to Golduck and then Wally for the break, I think that's pretty decent, but I just don't know how warranted that is. I don't know. There's just a couple different things. Putting a Hex Maniac in I think could be good. But it's just kind of early testing with a concept here, and I really like it so far. So here we're just going to go ahead and put some damage on the field. We want to get some damage on Tapu Koko so we can knock it out next turn with Blizzard Edge. And my opponent plays Drampa. If you remember back from the Black and White era, when Tornadus was really good, or Tornadus, whatever you want to call it. Um, that was a pretty cool card. It comboed well with a lot of different things, and it's always nice, like in this deck, to have a non-EX or GX attacker. I talk about prize equity a lot, so I don't know if Drompa's the right pair or combo for Tapu Koko, but anything is worth trying. Like I said, I really like fighting Fury Belt pretty much in anything. But I really like it in Tapu Koko because it gives Tapu Koko 210 HP, and then Aether Paradise Conservation Arena or Area, whatever it's called, bumps it up essentially to 240 HP if you want to one-shot it. That's pretty hard to do. Also, Aether Paradise, whatever, should just be called Gladion's hangout spot because Gladion is the man, and that's where he hung out in the video game. So yeah, thankfully we drew a couple things that we could play out our hand to use Abyssal Hand, but we didn't get too much, so we're just going to go ahead and Ice Blade again. I don't see any way that Tapu Koko can knock me out next turn, which is one of my biggest issues. Yeah, and we just did 50 because of the Gladion hangout spot. That's one of my biggest issues with Tapu Koko. I mean, you have to use like the GX attack or, I don't know, spread a bunch of damage with the promo Koko first if you want to get knockouts. So, I don't know. I like Tapu Koko. I'm just not sure if it's the right time for the deck. But yeah, it's good to get 50 damage on it now so we can work on one-shotting it next turn. So getting an energy here would be a big deal. Obviously, Max Potion's incredible in Tapu Koko. I run one in my Ninetales deck. If I were to cut the Wally, that would definitely be one of the first cards I would consider adding in place of Wally would be a second Max Potion. Man, did not get the did not get the lightning energy on the Sycamore. So we're digging for it here, I guess. And we just get a Drampa, so that's no fun. So it's good that we drew the Ultra Ball here because we can go ahead and get rid of Vulpix and Golduck and go ahead and get Golduck Break. And then we can use Abyssal Hand. I love Octillery. We can use Abyssal Hand to go ahead and draw a couple cards because my hand was otherwise kind of stalled out. There we go. See, Octillery is the best. Always want to give a hug to Octillery because that's his attack name is Hug. You can use Hug in this deck. Not that you'd ever want to. Well, maybe you would. I don't know. If you want something to not retreat and stall someone out. But yeah, nice to use Octillery, get the energy we need, and then Blizzard Edge to get the knockout. Now, I didn't VS Seeker for any supporters because I've got 2 Aqua Patch in hand, and things are about to get pretty fun as long as we don't get End, because we can just Aqua Patch those energies right back onto the field, and then use Golduck Break to move the energies back to the active. Now I could have also just discarded the DCE there and kept the 2 energies on it and tried to just pull another energy out of the deck with my supporter and Aqua Patch the 2 water energies to the benched Alolan Ninetales. So, I mean, there's definitely different ways that you could play it, but, I mean, if I didn't have another Ninetales in play, it would be a huge deal to be able to just go ahead and Aqua Patch to whatever's in play, Golduck, and move it up to the Ninetales. So it's definitely an interesting concept. It's something that I think needs to be tested out. I don't know if it's perfect for Alolan Ninetales or not. And then, yeah, definitely with the Drampa coming up here and using Righteous Edge to knock the double colors energy off is another reason why we probably should have just discarded the double colors energies. But yeah, I mean, I would have to draw an energy here, and now I do anyway, so I don't know. So we'll just throw them on the bench. Ninetales, Aqua Patch for another water energy. Golduck's going to move it all to the active. We'll via Seeker out of Sycamore so we can have the best odds of getting another energy from the deck. Alright, and we see the DCE and the water, so we know we're good. And this is what makes the deck run really well, obviously. Golduck Break, pulling up energies, Octillery, keeping the hand fresh. Ninetales being bulky, healing itself with Ice Path. Running a Max Potion, so you can get a little bit more fancy with Golduck Break. Golduck Break to me just seems like, normally you would get N to, I don't know, 2, and then you would have to rely on Octillery to get something you need. But I feel like with Golduck Break, I mean, you can just play an Aqua Patch, you just get Aqua Patch and energy, and then you're right back attacking with your active. I feel like it just eliminates a couple of turns of kind of awkward decision making that you just don't have to deal with when you run a Golduck Break in here. So I don't know. It's definitely a really good concept, and I think it needs more testing. But it could be the thing that puts Alolan Ninetales-GX over the top. So he plays N, and we'll draw 2, but that's okay, because we've got Octillery as well. So we can Ultra Ball whatever we draw, along with Ninetales, and Abyssal Hand for 5 cards. All we'll need from those 5 cards is an Energy and an Aqua Patch. Oh, okay. And that's it. We have won this one. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the deck list here in just a moment. Alright, so let's take a look at the deck list here. I always hate that PTCGO cuts off the card count for the bottom row, but we have got 2 Floatstone, 4 DCE, and 7 Water Energies. At the moment, I've got a Wally in the list. I mentioned earlier on the actual battle, we could cut the Wally, run a second Field Blower, or a second Max Potion. I probably would favor the second Field Blower, since the GX attack is a Max Potion, so that gives us 2 ways to heal. So I definitely think a second Field Blower would be good. Yeah, I think that's pretty much one of the only changes I'd make. We've got 2 Floatstone and a Switch, so we can still do the retreat option for Ninetales if we want. But yeah, obviously if you're not running Golduck, you're going to want to run like Escape Rope and Switch and Olympia and things like that. But taking a look at the list, one of the things that I want to point out, Golduck is actually pretty good in this as an attacker. For 2 Water Energies, it goes ahead and knocks out, if you discard 2 Water Energies from your hand and you have an energy attached to Golduck, it does 120 damage. So that's going to knock out Garbodor, that's going to knock out Vespiquen, Zoroark, Raichu. Throw a Choice Band on it and play a Kukui, and you one-shot Tapu Lele. So it definitely gives you some prize equity. I've been talking about prize equity in like every single video that I've made so far, and Golduck is one of those cards that really does give you some prize equity in those matchups. Now, granted, obviously it's weak to grass. I mean, I said it one-shots Vespiquen one-shots it, whatever. But at least you're only giving up 1 prize on that knockout. So something to keep in mind there. Now we're running a 2-2-1 Golduck Break. I definitely could see that being changed to a 2-2-2 or a 2-1-1 even. I just want to be able to get Psyducks down when I need them and then access the Golduck and the Golduck Break via Beacon and Ultra Ball or even Octillery drawing into it or a supporter drawing into it. I run Bridget because I really want to be able to get Psyduck, Remoraid, and Vulpix on the field as soon as possible. I don't see a point in Fan Club in this deck because I'm never going to use it to search for a Tapu Lele, the Bridget that is. Kukui allows you to hit for 210 damage with Blizzard Edge. So yeah, I mean, basically you get the concept here. You get to play around with your energies and healing a little bit more by running Max Potion since you have Golduck Break and can just move energies back to the active. I think Wally probably can be cut. I'd be much more comfortable running 2 Field Blower, especially if people catch on to the idea of fighting Fury Belt, which I think should be ran in Darkrai, Volcanion, Tapu Bulu, stuff like that. You still should run a band or 2, but I mean, like I said, I think it's pretty good in there. So anyways, that's it, guys. I hope you all enjoy the deck. I hope you try it out. Let me know what you think, and always remember when you're playing Pokemon to have fun. Thanks, guys.